Hey, what is going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to talk about DeepSeek. More specifically, we're going to get into the details in regards to how you can set this up on your local machine, running this AI model for free. And then we're going to go into a more useful or reliable option because most people are not going to be able to run the free option depending on the hardware that you have available to you. So we're going to go over both options and we're going to go over step by step, allowing you to get right into it right after this video. So definitely be sure to check it out. If you enjoy this kind of content, definitely subscribe for more, and let's go. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to talk about DeepSeek, and we're going to be using the Ollama for the free. This allows you to run the models directly on your machine, on your local machine. This is not really available to everybody, depending on the hardware that you have. Even for me, I don't have much at all, so it runs very slowly, but at least I wanted to get this tutorial out there so you can understand how you can do it yourself. So go to ollama.com, and then you're just going to head over to download, and then download Ollama on your local machine. All right, so next, after installing Ollama, you're going to go head over to the top and click on the Models tab. DeepSeek R1. Obviously, you have different models here available to you. Click on DeepSeek R1 as that is the point of today's video. And here on the left side, you're going to have the different options that are available to you: 7 billion, 8 billion, 14, 32, 70, 671, and then the space allocated here on the right side. For coding specifically, you're going to want to be upwards of 32 billion and more. That does require more space, but it also requires a lot more hardware. Essentially all of these you're not going to be able to run effectively on your machine, but it's still cool checking out. And I'll show you the 32 billion, so it's going to be super slow, but down to 32 billion, and then on the right side you're going to go ahead and copy this command. Open up your command prompt by running Windows R if you're on Windows, and then go ahead and just paste it in here. All right, and then once you go ahead and hit enter, you're going to go ahead and, or it will start downloading it and running it. I already have that going, so I'm not going to do that now. Actually, I'll show you how it runs, so we'll just go ahead and just run it. Like I said, I already have it installed. So right now DeepSeek or Ollama is running with DeepSeek, this model here. Put that to the back side. Next thing we're going to do is go head over to OpenRouter. If you do not have an account with that, definitely want to do it. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier. It's a unified interface for large language models, allowing you to pretty much use one API key to interact with all of these different language models. Kind of cool. It has an app showcase down here at the bottom as well. So you can see this month there was, through Klein, there's 496 billion tokens used, which is another thing that we're going to talk about in a second. So go ahead, sign up for your account here, and I will just pause it and sign in real quick. All right, so after signing in, you're going to go to the top and click on credits. In here, you're going to want to add credits. I put $10 in here kind of to play around with. You do what you think is necessary there. Next, you're going to go into keys and you're going to create an API key. I had already created a key, but you are going to click on create key and you're just going to label it. In my case, I put Klein, and then I put a credit limit of $10. This obviously is optional, as it says. It just makes sure that you don't go over a certain limit if you have a certain amount of credits in there. All right, so once you create that key, you're only going to be able to see it once, so make sure you copy that key. Next, we're going to want to get Klein, and we're using VS Code. So for those that are not familiar with Klein, Klein is a autonomous AI assistant within VS Code, and essentially do everything for you. Like in this project here, he's running it looks like a Node.js project, asking him to, I don't know, make some changes or something, and then it goes here on the right side and makes those changes for him, which is pretty cool. You could also have it executed for you and everything, which is what we're going to talk about today. So open up VS Code. All right, once you have VS Code open, just go ahead and go up here to the top. What I did, I just went and did a open folder, and I created a folder within my downloads or my temp directory, and then that's what I'm working out of right now. I just labeled the folder today's date. Over here, you're going to go down to settings, and you're going to click on extensions. Within the extensions, type in Klein. Klein will pop up. I already have it installed. Just go ahead and install it here. Once that's installed, you might have to refresh it. I don't think I had to. You'll notice over here on the toolbar on the left, you're going to click on Klein, a little robot guy. Once you click on him, you'll have the different prompts that I was playing with here. We'll just go ahead and go to settings. I believe this will be the default screen that you will see once you first get in here. You're going to select under the API provider, you're going to select OpenRouter. Here, you're going to put the OpenRouter API key that we had just created. And then down here, you're going to select what model you want. Sorry, I'm mistaken. So in this case, we're going to get to that point next. So in this case, we're going to go to Ollama. Sorry, I got a little bit thrown off because I started talking about OpenRouter. OpenRouter will be the next part of this tutorial. First we're doing Ollama. So we already have Ollama running. And as you can see, it's already got the default localhost with port 11434. And the model has been selected. This will populate automatically from what I've seen after you get it running. And then you come in here, you're gonna click on done. And at this point, we can now ask it to do anything. Like I said, it's gonna be super slow. So let's create a file real quick and I can just show you. So do new, we'll do new file, new Python file. So I just created a new file and it's going to be, here, let's go ahead and save this. So I just created a new file and I saved it hello world.py, and we just have a simple print statement in there. Then over here on the left side, which is how you're going to interact with it, you're going to go ahead and add your comments or whatever. In my case, I asked it to add comments to code to explain what is happening. Pretty simple prompt, just kind of saying like I want like print to screen hello world or something like that, you know, and I want an explanation of what's going on. So that's what I'm asking the AI agent to do. So we're just going to go ahead and execute that through Ollama. Like I said, this is going to take a very long time, considering the model that we had selected and using Ollama with the 32 billion parameter. Just to show you, this is running all locally. It is for free. So if you did have the means to have the hardware to run this, you could go ahead and do that, and that would be pretty cool. But in my case, I'm not able to do that, and it is just more cost effective to use the API. And I will show you that in just a minute, and we'll kind of let this run out and I'll let you know how long it took. Just to provide you some context or an example of what I'm talking about. So it's going ahead and it's doing its reasoning right now, and it's saying first I need to understand what a hello world program does, and then it's going to go ahead and kind of output what it's doing in this program. Like I said, it's super slow, not effective. We'd be here all day running this. So which is why the next option that I'm going to display or provide a tutorial for will give you a better way forward. I think you get the point. I'm not going to sit here and let it do its thing, so we'll go ahead and just cancel this out. But that's how you would run it free locally on your own machine with your own hardware, not any API tokens or anything like that. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and hit cancel, and we're going to get set up for the next environment. All right, so once we are canceled out, we're going to go over to settings again, and we're just going to, since we're using OpenRouter, super easy. We go in here, OpenRouter, we got our API key, paste it in there. We have our DeepSeek model selected here. Now, there are a few models here. DeepSeek Chat seems to be effective and very cost effective, I should say, in comparison to DeepSeek R1, as you will see here. And what I mean by that is I did a few run-throughs with DeepSeek R1 here, and it cost me almost $1 with just like 3 prompts. And then with DeepSeek Chat, it was just as effective in its ability to perform or to write code, maybe 1 or 2 cents, sometimes less, maybe a little bit more per prompt, which is great. So go ahead, OpenRouter, API key, select the model, click done. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna write that same thing here. And we will just say, add comments to all right, just like that, it's already working. As you can see, it's a lot faster. So it's going to say, Klein, read this file. It's going to read that file. I already have it set up to auto-approve, which I'll explain in just a minute. I would be careful with what you're doing on there, so just be mindful of that. But we'll kind of walk through this first. So right now, it's going to use the write file tool to add these comments to the file. So it just had read the file. You can kind of get more information too here by clicking in there. Pretty straightforward. And now it's going to perform the API request. Look at that. So again, if we didn't have auto approve, it would have asked us to make those changes. But since we had auto approve selected, it went ahead and made those changes for us. And that cost us about 1 cent, almost 2 cents. This is US dollars. But as you can see here, it did exactly what we asked. So it said it added a comment. Obviously, we could have been more specific. Maybe we just wanted 1 line or something like that, or maybe to the left side or to the right side of it. But in this case, with the prompt that we provided, it interpreted as, this is a simple Python program that prints a message. And then it says the print function outputs text to the console. And that's it. So just to kind of go over the auto approve real quick. So if you click on auto approve and you deselect these, that'll deselect that. So here's kind of the different options that are available to you. So you could have it auto approve read files and directories. You could have it auto approve edit files. You even have the option, which is kind of arbitrary because I'm not really sure exactly what could be considered potentially destructive, as it says allows the execution of safe terminal commands. If this model determines a command is potentially destructive, it will still require an approval. So I'm not sure. I went ahead and just ran them. I'm not too concerned about what's happening, and it does kind of show you, and it's just a simple script. And then you have some other things like use the browser, which I don't think is available to us. Something that I want to play with around and provide a tutorial on that as well. And then you have MCP servers down here, what I'm not too familiar with. And last but not least, you have your max requests. So let's say maybe you were leaving it running overnight or something like that, and you want to you're doing this big script, a big program. You could let it do like 100 requests, or maybe you only want to do a few, do 5 requests. In this case, we got 20 requests. It's default. So we're going to go back to auto approve, and we're just going to select these, and we're going to hit, we're going to go back in there. After you select that, just click on auto approve. All right, so now that pretty much closes out this portion of the tutorial. So we had talked about the ability to, so that pretty much closes out the tutorial, but I wanted to just provide another example. I'm going to be continue using this going forward, and I'm going to provide more tutorials within this topic. But just one more example. So let's say we want to modify this and do maybe print to a dialog box instead of printing the console. So I just going to use a quick prompt that says modify the script to print to dialog box instead of printing the console. Also modify the text to say subscribe for more tutorials just like this. Go ahead, let that run. All right, there you go. So I guess this is one of those moments where it is not auto approving because it's not a safe command, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I'm not entirely sure what that means. So we could run command, and that will go ahead and execute this script here. So just do python hello world.py, and there you go, the message, and then it says subscribe for more tutorials just like this. All right, but that's going to close out today's video. I hope you were able to take something away. I'm sorry for the little bit of confusion in the very beginning or in the middle of this video. Like I said, we went through Llama. Llama allowed us to run the 32 billion parameter model here locally on our own machine using our own hardware without any API tokens. Very cool, not very practical, not able to use unless you have money for more hardware, essentially. So with that being said, we were able to use OpenRouter, and now what OpenRouter allowed us to do is to use one API key for different models. In this case, we only used one model, and that was the DeepSeek R1 chat model, and that allowed us to create a hello world, add some comments to that, and then modify it even further. It's all autonomous AI agent. We talked about the auto approve function. Going forward, like I said, I'm going to continuously cover AI and different projects just like this. So if that is something that you're interested in, definitely subscribe for more. And as always, never stop learning.